He's doing a tour with the chamber.
Promoting the mission trail.
Yeah.
All right, okay, we're ready. Yes, ma'am. All right, we're calling the meeting to order. If everyone could please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Judy.
Okay, so we have roll call and determination of quorum. Number 2 is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held March 14th, 2025.
Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes?
A motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Thank you very much.
Item number 3 is public comments. Has anyone signed up for public comments?
No one has signed up for public comments.
4, we have finance. 4.1 is a public funds investment report for second quarter of fiscal year 25 by Alice Acosta. This could be found on page 7 of your agenda on your tablets.
Good morning. I'm Alice Acosta. I'm an accountant 1 here at Rio Cog. I'm reporting on the bank accounts for Wells Fargo, operating 911 and TCQ, operating second quarter fiscal year 2025, January 1st to March 31st, 25. As of March 31st, bookmark value for operating is $1,658,666 with an interest of $6,421. Next, account 911, which is our CSEC account, book market value at $326,741 with an interest of $223. Next is our TCQ account, which is our solid waste account. As of March 31st, 2025, bookmark value is $156,347 with an interest of $222. And that should conclude that. Do we have any questions?
Any questions? This is just an informational item for you all as part of our investment act requirements.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to administration. 5.1 is Super City AI presentation found on page 11 of your tablet by Annette Gutierrez.
Yes, good morning, Board of Directors. So this is a follow-up to our presentation that we had last month for you with Super City AI. We're really excited about this possibility. What we're looking at doing is we're asking for you all to approve and authorize the Council of Governments to enter into a letter of intent with Super City AI. And the LOI intends to establish a partnership between our two organizations. We intend to utilize Super City Mobile, the Super City Mobile application. And just as a reminder, this mobile application is associated with back office, portal, web services, where they aim to facilitate communication and service delivery within our Rio Cog region. We do have Miguel Gamino as well as some other and David Lana, and then we also have a special guest here today. So Miguel, would you like to add anything to the conversation?
Sure. Just thank you for letting us present last time. We've had a lot of interest from some of the individual members. We're excited about also partnering with the organization to engage kind of as a group. We're going to leverage several things for the COG specifically, and then follow up with the individual municipalities and jurisdictions that are part of it. This all worked out because we have our big launch on Saturday, tomorrow. And we have a special guest with us here today, all the way from Slovakia. It's first time to El Paso. He is our lead investor. And so if there's any way I can prove to you we're serious, he got a plane 24 hours to get here just to see all of this in action. So happy to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We hope your business been good so far. And his next stop is the ballpark. So I think it's one of our great landmarks that people really enjoyed our community. So hopefully you'll enjoy it as well.
Thank you very much.
Are there any questions for me with regard to this letter of intent? We did provide this to legal counsel. It was reviewed. and approved. And so we're excited about this next step, but if there's any questions, I can answer those right now.
Does this require a motion?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this contract.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Well, this is very exciting. I personally am still one of the people that are a little bit scared of AI, but it's just incredible. The presentation, for those of y'all who weren't here last month and missed the presentation, I'm sure we can get it to you. But it's just incredible the capacity that this program has to connect residents to their local government. So I look forward to just seeing how things roll out.
And we're hopeful that what will happen is, as the COG being the umbrella organization for all of your organizations, we could potentially bring in some of your information. You can see how it's working. And then that way it gives a little bit more credibility, reliability when they come before your commissioners courts or your city councils. So we'll see that it's already been vetted. Thank you.
All right, then, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Good luck with your-
So we're gonna whisk him off to
Yes.
the ballpark.
Yes.
Off to the ballpark you
Thank you.
go.
Stop by the Children's Museum if you have something.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thanks, guys. Okay. Okay.
Agenda item 5.2, page 16 of your tablet, is accelerated mediation skills for busy professionals. Request for proposal also by Aneco Gillis.
Yes, and so we're asking for the board to approve and authorize the council of governments to submit a request for proposal. And this is to create an abbreviated curriculum for mediation to be used by professionals. And the reason why this came about is because the El Paso County Human Resources Department asked for some training for their HR to be able to utilize mediation skills. And so currently, the way that mediation works in terms of the training, it's a 40-hour course, and then that allows you to be accredited, so to speak, and you're able to be a facilitator in that manner. But what HR needed from the county was an abbreviated version of that. They're not looking to be mediators to work in that space. However, if they're interested in the future, then they definitely could apply to take the 40-hour course when that is going to be offered by the DRC. But in the meantime, we want to provide an accelerated course that's maybe about 4 hours long, where it gives them the skills to make them equipped to be able to deal with any sorts of conflicts, whether those are internal or external. And so we want to develop a curriculum for that. And so that is the reason why we're going with a request for proposals to have an expert assist us in that process. Any questions?
Annette, do we know what the cost for a 4-hour training course might be?
When this gets rolled out, I haven't had that discussion with Marisa, so we would need to look at how we would want to price that. But this is an opportunity to have another revenue stream for the DRC, where this could be then laid out and offered within the community with El Paso, or within our 6 counties, or even within Doña Ana County as well. So we see a lot of potential in terms of its utilization. And then also we're going to be working to have this curriculum be reviewed and approved by SHRM, the Society for Human Resources Management. So that's another tool that they can use as well.
Great.
Are there any other questions?
And this is an action item.
A motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. If there's no further discussion over the questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Agenda item 5.3, page 24 of your tablet, access memorandum of understanding with the Rio Grande Council of Governments by Aneco Gillis.
Yes, this is an action item we're bringing before you, requesting to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Start Tech Group, which is a company out of Odessa, Texas. What they are doing is that they have developed a platform called Access, and it's a comprehensive career readiness and education solution that will help students develop skills, explore career interests, and connect with mentors. And they are serving the middle school, high school, and post-secondary students, where they're also focusing on STEM education, career pathways, and workforce readiness. So Access is already available within our school districts in our rural communities. Several of our entities are utilizing this service, but they would like for the Council of Governments to be able to have a portal to be able to just showcase what we do at the Council of Governments to inform students of this potential pathway, which would be in public government, in local government. So there's no cost to the organization. It's just a matter of us being able to promote our entity on their platform, which is accessed by students. Any questions for me?
Action.
Action, yes, ma'am.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a
Second.
We have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Point of information.
Yes.
Mayor Cruz will probably be released. Rudy, wake up.
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you.
Oh, I can hear you.
So Mayor, Governor Sivas has just joined us, so if you need to attend to your other matters, you're more than welcome to. Or if you want to stay on it. Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you, Rudy.
Bye-bye.
Hey, how are you?
Good morning. Good. Apologies for running late.
Not a problem.
Our cacique called the meeting, so make sure I made that meeting. So
We understand.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
being here. Okay, so we are on item 5.4.
5.4,
5.4.
okay. Update on Economic Development Administration, 3-year planning grant by Ana Gutierrez, page 30 on your tablet.
Yes, this is just an informational item, but I did want to inform everyone that this planning grant that we have received since the 90s is actually on hold right now. We were set to start the funding, or we were anticipating receiving an award in January, but due to the executive order from the president, this one is still being reviewed. So as of right now, we have not received any funding for this program. So we are now, January, February, March, April, 4 months into this calendar year program. And so we have benefited from the generosity of the tribe, where they provided the local cash match. And so that has enabled us to continue the program with the understanding that the funding will be coming along our way soon, but we still have no idea when that's going to happen. So Judy and I are monitoring the situation. We are going to, at some point, maybe have to make a decision whether we hold off on spending any more money that we anticipate receiving, because as of right now, we have not received the funding award. So I just wanted you to be aware of that, of the situation and how we're monitoring it. Are there any questions for me?
Have we reached out to our 2 congressional representatives to ask them for maybe help figuring out?
Yes, we did. I did have a conversation with Ben Shipke out of Congressman Gonzalez's office. He's aware of the situation, and this program, like many, is in the same bucket. So it's a wait and see in terms of the evaluation that's being conducted. But we didn't get a hard no that it's probably not going to be approved, but we didn't get the comforting yes, just hold tight. So this is kind of where we are right now. We've spent so far about 30,000. So this grant is 70,000 a year, and with the matching grant that we've again received from the tribe at 20%. And so it's conceivable that we could pull through all of the matching money in this fiscal year. That's not what we want to do, but we know at some point we may have to just put the brakes on it and see how we would reallocate our resources, our staff's time to other programs. We do anticipate receiving potentially a program on the state side for broadband. And so there's a potential where we could reallocate time for that initiative, but I think that it probably would not potentially start up till June or July. So, and then we do have we're in talks with City of El Paso Economic Development Department, potentially serving as an additional resource to them as well. So there might be some financial transactions in that conversation. So we're looking to see where else we can find funding in case this one doesn't materialize.
When do you think we'll have to make that decision about whether or not we want to pause activities on this particular program?
I'm looking at Judy right now.
I'm gonna say June.
June.
Yes,
The
for
June
sure.
meeting.
The June meeting will definitely be a good, because we would only have about 3-4 months to actually make some kind of impact, because EDA is heavily used by a certain group of employees. And so by us removing them and maybe placing them elsewhere or making other decisions, then that's the only way we could probably save. But right now, to be honest, like she said, we're relying on all of the match that the tribe gave us. And that's the only money that we've been able to use because we haven't been able to draw any of the monies. Even last January, I believe, we barely were able to recoup some of the monies that were on the previous grant that expired on December 31st. So we were also like trying to figure out if we were going to get that money or not. And luckily we did. But right now it's just the funding that started in January that we're kind of.
And we have, the narrative has been and continues to be those who already were, who are currently funded by EDA, there's not any issues that they're running into. So they're not in this situation. It's only the new grants. And any of the other grants that have been awarded by EDA, such as a tourism grant for Favens or for Van Horn, those are still in play and they're not reevaluating those. So we're secure with those.
Do we know how many staff would be impacted? We do have to pause the program.
For sure, at least one, for sure. The other ones, we could probably kind of put them elsewhere, but we're looking at a possibility of one. And getting very creative and putting the rest of the stuff in the other programs.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's all I have for my agenda.
And I think this was informational.
Yes, ma'am.
Moving on to regional services, 6.1 is Public Safety Office, Criminal Justice Division, Office of the Governor, Rio Cog, fiscal year 26. Victim Assistance Program, Regional Priority List by Marisa Quintanilla.
Good morning, Board of Directors. Want to let you know that the Criminal Justice Advisory Committee met the beginning part of April, 2 consecutive days, and then a day after that, a week after the prioritizations or the reviewing of the applications. And behind the agenda item, you have the individuals, I believe it's in your notebook, all the applicants for VOCA, which is your Victims of Crime Act. We had a total of 23 applicants that applied, of which 2 went ahead and withdrew their applications. And so that left a total of 21. And so you can go ahead and look at those applicants in terms of the recommended amount by the CJAC for submittal to the Public Safety Office. Judge McKenzie is our chairperson for the committee. So if you want to add anything else, Judge?
Sure. I mean, this is a lot of time, and I have to give kudos to poor Marissa and Jennifer because they had a record number of applicants. I think was it 56 or 46? 46 applicants, and this is a grueling several days of just listening and reading through. So it's a ton of work. And we met and went through, and our priority always is, what the grant has outlined, but also avoiding duplication of services and ensuring direct victim assistance. So you'll see that United Way was not recommended. They don't do any direct services. And the last 2 years they've applied, the governor's office goes ahead and funds them. So that is why you'll see that they were not funded, is they're not meeting really what the purpose of this is. But in applying, they get to go to the governor and get funded.
Right, they're funded under the Anti-Terrorism Victims of Fund Crime. And their application is solely for referrals for the individuals impacted by the shooting, the Walmart shooting.
Well, it's nice to see that everyone received the amounts that were requested. I don't know.
This was a good one, not very often. Yep.
And Marisa, would you want to just quickly go over how you address the potential funding that would have been remaining?
Right. So if there is any remaining funds, if you all recall last year, when we did have to return some money back to the governor's office because we did not have sufficient applications. And so the committee directed the Council of Governments to submit applications. If you'll remember last in February, I think it was, we had a whole bunch of requests for submittals of applications, was because they requested for us to have those applications in the pool in case there was some monies remaining, then the COG would subcontract out with entities to provide those type of services. And so you'll see in the priority listing that you'll see that the COG is listed on there. And that is because there is some remaining dollars that we want to make sure that we maximize at the regional level.
This is the first year, and the committee met last year, and I think spoke to y'all about the whole purpose is we want to keep those monies in the region. So that was the purpose of that. But you'll see too, in one of these funds, there was enough to fund everybody, not the COGs. The COG didn't receive it. So it's just a very last case scenario so that we're ensuring that those services get first.
Great, wonderful. Any questions?
This is an action item.
Yes, so if we could have a motion to submit the 2026 General Victim Assistance Priority List and Resolution.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion from Commissioner Butler, second from Alderman Cantu. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, motion passes.
Agenda item 6.2, Public Safety Office, Criminal Justice Division, Office of the Governor, Rio Cog, fiscal year 26, Violence Against Women Justice Training Program, Regional Priority Listing, also by Marisa Quintanilla.
Board of Directors, this is our VAWA fund source, and last year was the first year in 5-7 years that we actually saw an increase. The VAWA funding has always been just decreasing. And so the state has to meet some federal priorities under VAWA, and prosecution and training and court services. Those are the among priorities for the governor's office to fund. We only have one applicant that traditionally has applied under the VAWA. Traditionally, back in 7 years ago, we actually had maybe 2 applicants, the district attorney's office and then also the protective order court. So the district attorney's office kind of faded that application out when we had DA Rosales come in. But then thereafter, it's just been the protective order court. So this was one of those fund sources that we did receive an additional funding amount for FY26. And you can see that the 2 applicants is Rio Grande COG as well as the 65th court.
Have we reached out to DA Montoya just so that he's aware of this potential funding source?
Right, and I did with Stephanie Valle, and the thing about it, since they were just so new into when the applications were actually, needed to be submitted, they weren't ready for the submittal of it. So we have had conversations to make sure they get back into the pool.
Questions? And this is an action item, so we do need a motion to submit the 2026 Violent Crimes Against Women, Criminal Justice and Training Projects, Priority List and Resolution.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Okay. Agenda item 6.3, page 39 on your tablet. Public Safety Office, Criminal Justice Division, Office of the Governor, Rio Cog, fiscal year 26, State Criminal Justice Planning, Juvenile Justice Regional Priority List by Marisa Quintanilla.
Board of Directors, this is our juvenile justice fund source. And as you can see, we had a total of 4 applicants, including the Council of Governments. This was one of the fund source that we did not have enough. Well, we had enough funding for the applicants that went ahead and submitted their application. And I believe that every applicant there, 2 to 4, was recommended to receive full funding.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the priority list and resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Agenda item 6.4, page 42 of your tablet. Public Safety Office, Criminal Justice Division, Office of the Governor, Rio Cog, fiscal year 26, Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program, Regional Priority List by Marisa Quintanilla.
Board of Directors, this is our JAG dollars. This fund source serves for after-school programs, mentoring programs, as well as law enforcement equipment. As you can see, we had a total of 14 applicants, of which 1 went ahead and withdrew their application. And so in this case as well, there was enough funding to be able to recommend level funding for the majority of them, with the exception of Rio Grande Council of Governments. And if you can see that we start applicant number 9 through number 12, the funding was just reduced on, there's actually 8, right? Applicant 8. through to 12 went ahead and received some level of funding, but not the full ask.
I think it's important to note with this one, with the start of every applicant, I advised them, hey, there's $569,000, but there's been $1.5 million in ask. So what bare minimum could we provide you to be successful? So it's really helpful to advise them, make sure they know. And you'll see like number 8, Sol Ross, they're like, we really could just use 2 of these motorcycles. So it really helps us when we have to make these difficult decisions. And cutting back, but still giving them enough to prove some success to every valuable program there is. This is the toughest one by far for us.
And is the county we withdrew our application? You said we withdrew the.
So the activities, the purchase of equipment was the body vest armors, and that was not eligible under this fund source. They had to do a different fund source. So I did talk to the grant writers there and let them know that, next year they need to pursue the different solicitation. So the governor's office is the one that actually told them that it was ineligible.
Do we have any other questions?
Move to approve.
Motion?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Agenda item 6.5, page 45 on your tablet. Public Safety Office, Criminal Justice Division, Office of the Governor, Rio Cog, fiscal year 26, Truancy Prevention Grant Program, Regional Priority List by Marisa Quintana.
So, Board of Directors, this is our truancy fund source, and as you can see, all the applicants, the 3 applicants that submitted an application have some level of funding. 2 and 3 actually were a little bit scaled back, but our new applicant, which was Sierra Blanca ISD, actually came into the pool, and very excited for them to implement a truancy program there at their school district. So, so this is the fund source for truancy.
This was another one where with all the applicants, we advised that there was more being requested than was available. So we asked, right, what's your bare bones? What can we do for you? Can your project succeed at all? So it's been good open communication.
Motion to approve?
Second.
To approve and second.
Question.
Oh, we have a
I have a
question.
question. Is this open to all school districts?
It sure is.
And then only 3 apply for
Yes.
this?
And in fact, years ago, we only had one, which was Alpine ISD.
Really?
And so, as you all know, you were principal, it's no longer a federal crime or federal requirement. It's now civil. And so now these monies were opened up to implement a truancy type of project where there's that outreach to the students, to the families, to find out why aren't you coming to school and trying to get them back into school. So it is open, and we've been trying to get more folks to participate. The last 2 years, Socorro ISD came on board, and so, we have very few ISDs participating.
When it comes around for the next round,
Yes, ma'am.
we would know in advance that it's coming up
Yes, ma'am.
with time for them to submit an application? Okay.
So we reach out to, we have everybody in our listservs, and if you want me to add folks on our email distribution for that, for the notification, El Paso ISD is on there. If you saw the previous, the JAG fund source, they actually submitted an application for some vehicles. So they are receiving the notices, and we try to recruit, talk to different folks, and so we're just not getting them in.
I think too, when I said there were some requirements that schools were not agreeable to as well, that might prohibit some of them from applying, just to let you know as well.
Or I think those other school districts are at 100% attendance. That's probably.
Oh, you're optimistic.
The rural school districts are on your distribution list, Bolivar, Haven, San Elizario, Clint.
Not those, ma'am.
Okay.
But if I can get-
Send you the superintendent's email address.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Moving on to area agency on aging.
I don't think we.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we had a motion.
Motion
Sorry,
second, I have a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I apologize.
Or Judy, we were all.
It's just so many. Woohoo, 7, I'm just kidding. Area Agency on Aging. 7.1, update on fiscal year 2025 federal funding for the Rio Grande Area Agency on Aging by Yvette Lugo.
Good morning, Board of Directors. Yvette Lugo, Director for the Rio Grande Area Agency on Aging. This presentation has changed for me as of this morning, about an hour ago. So what I had prepared for you is completely different now. Annette felt it was important that we give you all an update. And just as a reminder, I'm sure you'll recall that the majority of our funds are all federal dollars. They're Older Americans Act monies. We're dealing with a couple of scenarios or knowns at this point. There's still a continuing resolution for fiscal year 24 allocations as to what our budgets are. When we come to you all to prepare and request your approval for our budget for this coming fiscal year, we're using planning figures. And with that, we were using fiscal year 24 planning figures in that sense. And so we've had a couple of meetings. Again, as I said, this morning, there was a meeting from our state agency, Health and Human Services. They are the designated state unit on aging. And so they receive the federal dollars that are then distributed to the area agencies on aging throughout the state. With that, at that point, we had received a portion of our allocation for this fiscal year, again, looking at planning figures for fiscal year 24. At the end of the day, we had heard different stories on how much could be funded, percentages, basically leaving us at that we were not going to receive our full amount of funding. And so obviously a little panicked based on Annette's EDA presentation and kind of the vein and working with Judy in looking at how that would impact our funding wise for staffing, as well as the services that we purchase on behalf of clients, older adults that receive our services. And so with that, this new update today, the state office has indicated to us that they are able to fund us at 100% of our fiscal year 25 planning dollars. And there are also carryover monies that we usually plan for. And so when we present our budgets, we tell you all this is how much we're looking at, the anticipated amounts that we look for as far as what we think we can carry over from previous fiscal years into this current fiscal year. And so looking at that, the state agency, part of their obligation is that they have to provide a match to draw down those fiscal dollars. And so what had been previously indicated was that they were not able to afford the full amount of match money to give us our full ask. And so, of course, that sent us all into a panic, because what does that look like? Again, thinking we're continuing resolution dollars. It's not actually a fiscal year 25 approved budget. At the end of the day, I'm happy to report, again, as of this morning, about an hour and a half ago now, state office is telling us they can give us a full 100% of what our planning amounts for fiscal year 25 and 75% of our fiscal year 24 carryover money. Now, again, when we come to you all in planning figures, those planning budgets are kind of an estimated, they're understated because they're planning, right? We don't know what that is until our final amounts, actual fiscal year 24, what we end up with at the end of the fiscal year. And so those are projected dollar amounts. And so with a real quick math and asking our Assistant Director, Lorena Estrada, who's much better versed at this than I am, to do a quick portion, a quick math, we are actually going to fare better than what we had planned for. So I'm so grateful and thankful to be able to say that to you, because my fear was to say, what do we do next? I don't know. But at this rate, what we're looking at, and just quick dollars, if I can say, we had anticipated and come before you to ask for approval at 5.4 million. And again, quick math, it looks like we'll end up with 5.9 million. So we fare better, we fare well in that sense, in that space. So I don't have specific monies until we actually get the notice of award. We can put those dollars in and definitely anticipate to spend our fiscal year 24 carryover, because obviously that's how it should be, right? We spend our carryover from previous years and then move into 25. And so thankfully, the way things are, we're able to continue to forward and the plan moving forward with serving, keeping staff as we are. There's no anticipation for having to cut or reduce any of the clients that we're serving. So everything is pretty much status quo. So like I said, it was a completely different presentation before this morning when we had this meeting. And so all in all, I'm pleased to be able to at least tell you that we fare better, and we look to be faring better with this coming allocation. And hopefully as soon as we receive those notice of awards, Judy plugs them in, Lorena does her magic with the numbers, we're going to be better.
With that being said,
26.
Yes.
With the leaked budget from the president in terms of the proposed 26 budget, there were several key programs within the Older Americans Act that are zeroed out. And we know that that is what the president proposes versus what Congress passes are often not in line with each other. However, that is of great concern. And as councils of government staff, we do not lobby, we only educate. So we want to educate all of you on what would be potentially that shortfall. So we'll be working those numbers to see what how that would look for our area. The good thing is that all of our programs, the gold standard, the cornerstone of our programs are our congregate home delivered meals. Those were not zeroed out. Our benefits counseling was, and that's a huge one. I think that's where we shine the most in terms of the services that we provide to our constituents. So that's still a concern. And so we're trying, we're being as defensive as we can to come up with as many ideas as we can if that were to occur. But so we're saved for 25. We're still thinking about what's going to happen with 26, but I know that Commissioner Gain had a question as well.
So that's wonderful news. But I know that we were facing severe shortages in the congregate meal program because a lot of the COVID-related dollars are now gone. And I know we were planning on trying to speak to the city. How is that going? And can some of this additional funding that we maybe weren't expecting to get, can that be used to offset some of the shortfall for the congregate meal program?
Definitely, that's usually the plan. Anytime there are additional funds, we're looking at where we can place some of those dollars. And obviously El Paso County is our largest nutrition provider. And so yes, we've had conversations with the county nutrition provider, our partner at the county. And that was the pledge, that if there were any additional dollars allocated specifically to our C1 and C2 amounts, which again, we don't know that until we get the actual award, then we can look at doing that. And that was the pledge to our county partners. In talking with about the city, I think we have a couple of meetings, especially, and I wanted to get with you, Representative Limon, but a couple of our city representatives are on our board. We wanted to approach you all to see if there is a possibility of the city contributing towards this. Now, at this point, we're not cutting any of the current clients, and that goes through all of our COG region. We're just not adding any per se, so that we can maintain those that we have currently. And that is a concern. I think people do come to the senior centers and they expect to be enrolled and, that this is what's available to them. And so looking at that, we're hoping that we can at least make the county whole on what they've contributed towards the program, because I know the county does put a portion of that funding to kind of supplement the meals that we aren't able to purchase. And that would be the ask of the city, if there was any consideration to helping to support that as well, so that this could then continue to add to, because we understand that there are clients that are wanting to participate in these programs.
So the hope is that with the senior fund being up and running, and it's going to be officially launched in May, if people are wanting to find ways how they can contribute and donating to a meal, I think is something that is tangible. People can, they can see the return on investment, so to speak. And so we have high hopes for that fund. So we have a lot of work to do, but we're really thankful with that, to have that mechanism now, because it'll be open to our entire region, not just El Paso County.
Questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
Now we're moving on to announcements.
Yes, just two announcements quickly on my end. Yesterday, Mayor Baeza gave his time and attended our public hearing for the Far West Texas Water Planning Group. It was our initially prepared plan, and so it's quite a document. It's 500 pages. However, what I can do is I can just direct you to what areas you might be of interest to you and your communities. But this is an opportunity for you to ensure that the strategies that have been identified within your county are in there, because if any of your communities want to apply to the Texas Water Development Board, those strategies have to be listed. So that's really important that they're included. We have had great participation from our water planning group. And so in terms of staff and ensuring that they have they have vetted and reviewed and submitted. Those things have happened, but we just want you all to know that this is the first step. They'll take public comments up until, I think, another 2 weeks. And then after that, incorporate the comments, and then the final draft will be submitted, will be reviewed by the group to be approved and up to the state. So that's where we are on water planning. We also wanted to just give Marisa a little bit of time to talk about the mediation conference that happened at the end of March. We had Commissioner Dean read a proclamation, and it was a great turnout, but I'll let Marisa just give a recap of that activity.
Yeah. So we did have our Texas Association of Mediators Conference here in El Paso, first time ever. The association has been in existence for 40 years. So first time in El Paso. I just want to really highlight the attendance level, because when we started trying to see if we can get this conference here in El Paso, as anything, it's too far. We can't drive. Well, yes, you can drive, but it'll take you a while. We're going to have to fly and so forth. So last year, the conference was in Plano, Texas, and they had attendance of 163 participants at the conference. We had 160. So, people came. And so that's pretty good. And we received the feedback on the evaluations, very, very high notes in terms of everything from having Commissioner Holguin give us the proclamation, as well as the festivities, as well as our, great hostesses stuff to everybody, so we can get them, familiarized and willing to come back to El Paso to tour our region. So a lot of folks did stay, and a lot of folks did visit the trails, and they did go out to the tribe to look and walk around, and also down to Mesilla. So that was great. So
it's a success.
I invited them back next year, so we'll see.
keep our fingers crossed. A lot of work.
Maybe that'll be the rotation.
Okay. That one, the year after. We'll give you a year off. Bring them back the following.
But thank you for your support, and thank you, El Paso County Commissioner Holguin. Couldn't have done this without you all.
Any other announcements?
I have a question though, going back to the water planning. So, so I understand that, there's a lot that goes into this as well, but, there's no real representation as far as the water utilities, for Horizon, the Horizon Regional, Municipal Utility District, Lower Valley Water, the Paseo del Este MUDs. There's 11 MUDs in just the East Lake side. So have you all reached out to them as well for all of them?
Yes, and you will see projects that are listed on there.
For each one of them?
Yes.
Okay.
And we have, we have not solicited participation in terms of membership dues to the private utilities, but we have reached out to Horizon Mud, and they used to be a member, but they chose not to. So it's been several years since that has been the case, but that doesn't mean that you cannot participate and have your projects in there. We still do the outreach, and we still get some projects in, but it's always great to be at the table to hear what's happening.
And the reason I bring up Horizon Regional Mud is everybody here knows Ralph Bahia.
Yes.
He's going to be on their board.
Okay.
He's leaving us, the city of Horizon, and he's going to Horizon Regional.
Maybe things will change.
There's a plan for
Thanks for the
everybody.
tips. Any other announcements?
I have a couple, and I'm gonna start with passing something.
I'll pass it for free.
I know it's late notice, but I just saw him at the office yesterday. And I grabbed him. We're having Earth Day tomorrow at our park at St. Richardson, and we'd like you all to come out and join us. I know Commissioner O'Neill has been there for the last several events. She'll be there again. This is all to encourage planting more trees in our communities, especially the rural area. I know water is a big issue, but there are trees that will survive the desert without providing additional water. So we want to stick to natural things that grow in communities, the region. And we're also encouraging rain harvesting. So when we do get the rain, we can capture it. Okay. Yeah, so that's part of our initiative for the Urban Act program. And we have a lot of participants in the community who are actually installing rain harvesting barrels at their property and starting to grow. So this is just kind of an effort to help individuals become self-sustaining.
And if I can put in a plug for this, if you see there's a fruit tree raffle, you have a really good chance of leaving with a fruit tree. Last year's event, my younger daughter, Rebecca, won 3 trees. She has an apple tree, a pomegranate tree, and a fig tree. And every day from school, she's so excited. She checks on her trees. And they look like they had died over the winter when we went on vacation, but they're coming back, and she's super excited. So you all have a very good chance of having one with a fruit tree, just FYI, from experience.
The second is at the TML Region 4 in Alpine. I was nominated as the vice president for the region, and I accepted.
Congratulations.
Now the issue is pending the election next week. So what happened with TML Region 4 is that we had elected a president, a vice president, and a secretary back in October for Graham Walmart, and they lost their elections in November. So the region was without any representation. And luckily, a few people stepped up last month, and they approached me to be their vice president. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen next.
Where will the next meeting be held?
They're thinking Presidio, Presidio or
Pecos?
Pecos.
Okay, probably Pecos.
Presidio or Pecos, one or the other.
That'll be a little too far.
Oh, yeah, oh, and very hot. Yeah.
So what I like about these regional meetings is that we all kind of gather in the place.
Yes.
This last one was a last minute thing. As you know, there was not a lot of representation.
Okay, it was
I know
last
that the
minute.
city of Marco was there. And it's very important that we try to attend these things.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of information that we can share, networking, and the bragging rights, right?
Mhm.
So there's a part on the agenda where it's bragging rights, and then you tell them what's happening in your community. So that's pretty interesting. But like I said, it's all pending the election next week. So things are kind of, I'm waiting to see.
It's going to be good news.
And this region is massive. It's from El Paso to Andrews, Midland, Odessa, Presidio, so it's difficult for a bunch of the people to make it to El Paso, make it to Andrews.
Right.
Luckily, we're situated more or less in our little area where it's 3 hours anywhere we go to
Yeah.
to the city, but for y'all going
Yeah.
to Odessa or
And I like
Andrews.
about that, where they alternate in the central part,
Mhm,
not too far out. I know that Socorro had hosted one
mhm.
years ago, but it's very convenient to meet in the middle somewhere.
Mhm. I love El Paso.
Yes, Representative.
If I could piggyback a little bit on your conversation, Alderman Cantu. So the importance of trees is in our community is so vast that our office has set up a program called 77 in District 7. And it's our goal to plant 77 trees in District 7. I didn't put a timeline because I have no idea how long it's going to take to do 77 trees. But we're going to be reaching out to our community business people like Lowe's and Home Depot and the nursery on Blacks and really promoting it. So as people go out and they're shopping and maybe they're looking for bushes or different things that they might consider a tree, and then how we can recognize their efforts, whether it be a certificate or something like that. So it's more like a community. I know one of the companies already said, oh, I'll give you 77 trees. That's not the object. It's the community buy-in. And it's precisely because like Rebecca, that this is her tree. And so as we plant them out in the neighborhood also, that people will be vested in the process. So I'll give you an update as we go along. Thank
And
you.
there are several cities and programs that are kind of going on the same direction. They're changing the way they do things. Now trees are no longer a nuisance, now trees are needed, right? So, and especially trees that are native to your community. So we don't want to try to grow something here that will not survive, right? But at the same time, for years, there's been, like the pomegranate here survived all these years.
Yes.
And it's one of the most nutritious things you can buy. It'll breed, but a lot of people don't understand that. Well, that's just a little bush that
It's
gives
a
up.
nuisance.
It's a nuisance for me, but in fact, it's a value to us. So that's our approach is, we know that there's also been research where trees bring rain, right? So the more trees you have, the more rain you get. If you look at geographically, some of the other communities in the nation that have a lot of trees tend to get more water. In our area, when we do get rain coming through the Paso, we see a lot of raindrops, like where the peacock groves are in Vegas and all that. And then when it hits a certain area, it stops. So, for example, San Elizario does not get a very much rain as compared to other communities. It's interesting that how science works, but it's true, right? So our goal is to put more trees in our community, not only for the benefits of the environment, but also for traffic calming devices, for shade on the trails, on the sidewalks, so that way people actually get out and enjoy the environment.
Thank you.
Also, there is with your soil and water conservation districts, they do promote the planting of trees and growing, and you'll have them in your areas, in your counties. Contact either, well, the soil and water conservation, USDA, your Texas AgriLife. All three of those programs promote any kind of tree planting for conservation, water conservation also.
If you can incorporate, your flood mitigation, put a swirl in this trees or planting, so the water actually.
I have a, accident. I saw the sheriff jumped off, but together with the county, the sheriff's office and the county attorney's office will be throwing our third annual gun buyback event. I don't know if you all heard about our last two, but they were quite successful. We've gathered nearly 1,000 guns out of the community over the last 2 years. We provide gift cards in exchange for unwanted guns. It's totally anonymous, voluntary process. This year, the last 2 years, we did it in Central El Paso. This year, we're doing it at the Student Activities Complex at SISD, so it's closer to the Far East side. So if any of our partners, municipalities on the Far East side are interested in helping us promote that to your constituents, I think that would be really valuable. The goal is mostly geared towards youth that have access to guns, and hopefully we can have a safer summer this year without any gun violence in our community. So you'll start seeing the promotion come out, but if anybody's interested, let me know and I could send you the advertisements.
If you could send it to me, we'll send it out.
Okay. Give us the date. May 17th.
But I believe this is only for El Paso County residents, right?
Anybody.
Oh, really? Okay.
We don't ask for
Oh, nice.
anything.
I have an old one I need to get rid of.
I'll take a picture. And the guns are completely destroyed by the sheriff's office once they're.
I wanted to say when I was in Washington at the last board meeting, there was a fire drill going on, so I could not give a report. And when you're in a hotel with a fire drill going on, it is loud. So I wanted to just say thank you to the COG and that everything in Washington was amazing. The people we got to meet and see, and some of the inner workings. Tony Gonzalez was there. And I just had a really good time, and I want to say thanks to everyone that was involved. And what a great event it was. So, thank you.
Okay, any other announcements? Are we ready
I have
to?
one.
Oh,
I want to invite everybody to our Halloween market, our spring market at the Cultural Center. It's at 305 Yaya this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We'll be having other pueblos perform there. A lot of vendors from other Native American nations, vendors there. But also want to extend an invite to the powwow. I think it's our 11th year powwow. Shorty's involved. You know Shorty. So yeah, it's on October. That one will be the first weekend of October, and it's at District in Socorro. I don't have the address, but it's on Tivo Boulevard in Socorro, District 2. But this weekend will be our Dawina Market, at the Culture Center, 305 Yaya Lane.
okay.
Hope to see you all there.
Good, thank you.
Any other announcements? Are we ready to adjourn? We have a motion.
Motion to.
Second.
Thank you so much. Oh, and we have to sing happy birthday.
Oh,
Well, David, do you mind stopping the recording?
You don't want to do
Harmonizing, is that what it is?
No, we don't want this to be used against.
I don't know, we don't have champion like a cappella.
May, I don't know.
And I guess that was just a non. Okay, good.
Did you get it?
That's great.
Yeah.